Why school is dumb. If you're someone like me going to high school right now and going through it right now, you can obviously know that going to school is dumb, is stupid, and I'll give you some of the points on why I think it sucks. Alright, so does anybody here like waking up early? No one? No one? Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about here. Because we have to wake up early for school, and that's something I do not like at all. Because for my school, my bus gets here like around 6:45. So that basically means I have to wake up. So that basically means that I have to wake up like around 6, or even around like 5ish, like just to get like a head start and just do everything I have to do. And like that's a really really big gripe of mine. And another thing is that why do we have to wake up so early for school? Like it makes no sense. Like what's the rush about having to get there so early? Like what? Is there gonna be traffic later on? Like like is there like a specific guideline we have to follow? Like what's like the rush about getting there early? Because I know from experience is that by the time I get to school and that first bell rings and I'm already in my first class, I'm not even paying attention. I'm just so tired, like with my eyes, barely open. All I want to do is just sleep. So, so I really, really do think that if they were able to push the time back, I say make school open like around 8. That would be really, really cool and really more beneficial because, telling this right now, having to get up there by 7:30, yeah, it's not fun at all. Telling you that right now. Now, some of the rules they gave us in school never made any sense at all about those typical rules. Like, about if you miss, like, if you're late like 3 times and then you get detention. Like, I'm not talking about those type of rules. I'm talking about the rules that are way too strict and that really made no sense at all. One of these rules was that you couldn't go to the bathroom at the beginning of class. You had to wait 5 minutes. And also was that you couldn't go to the bathroom at the end of the class if there was 5 minutes left. Now this made no sense whatsoever. Like, if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go to the bathroom. Alright, so let me just paint you guys a scenario then, okay? So what if I drank a lot of water in the middle of class, right? And then I'd use the bathroom, right? So then I ask the teacher. And if that teacher says no, because there's only 5 minutes left in class, that basically means I'm screwed. So that basically means then I have to wait until my next class starts just to use the bathroom. And let's not also forget that I also have to wait another 5 minutes too. This may not sound like a really big deal to some of you, but for those kids who really, really have to go to the bathroom, those minutes could feel like hours to them if they really have to go and use the bathroom. And by the time you were able to go and use the bathroom, you had to sign in. This is due because my school really had a big V problem. Yeah, with people going to the bathroom and where they would do vegetables. Yeah, vegetables. You know how most schools have libraries? Well, in my school, it wasn't really called a library. It was actually called the Media Center. Well, it was basically just a library, like there was the books with the computers, printers, copiers, like all that good stuff in the Media Center, they call it. So, if you wanted to go to the media center like at the beginning of the school day or at the end of the school day, it was pretty much simple. All you had to do was walk in, sign name, and just do your own thing, right? Pretty much typical stuff. But there was always this dumb rule where if you wanted to go to it during lunch or study hall, you needed a pass. And the only way to get these media center passes were to ask your study hall teacher, like, which sounds easy, right? But there was only 2 of them per study hall. Basically meant that you had to get there early if you wanted to go to media center because somebody else maybe wanted to go to media center, and since there's only 2 passes, only 2 people can go there during lunch or study. Yeah. I also forgot to mention that if you didn't get there in the 5 minutes like the bell actually rung, and guess what? You couldn't go there actually, and that was a dumb rule for me because that always happened to me because I always had to make like little stops, if I had to go to the bathroom or if I had to talk to a teacher. So that basically meant that if I didn't get there in the 5 early minutes, like as soon as that bell rung, then guess what? I wasn't allowed to go to the media center, which I found dumb. Homework, homework, homework. What has to be said about it that already hasn't been said enough about it? It is the worst. Now, if you're someone like me who is currently in the 11th grade or junior year, You already know the struggle of this year. We have to start applying for colleges, ASCTs, testing, even more testing, and also, I don't know why, but the teachers just decide to give us even more homework. How wonderful! And now I do understand why they give us homework, because we're gonna learn so much from school, and I guess they want us to still remember the content even when we get home. But but the amount they give us is so ridiculous. Because in my school, they don't give us one, they don't give us two. No, they be giving us three or even a packet of them. And the worst part is that they're double sided, so it's gonna take even more of my time to finish it up. Man, some of these teachers that these schools hire just really make you think and just wonder, how did these schools decide to hire these people to teach us, the students? Of course, like you always will have those good teachers that actually teach and actually want to make you learn. But that's not really the case. Like some of these teachers just don't want to be there and just don't want to teach you the material that you are supposed to learn. Of course, everybody had that one old strict teacher that was always boring and took their job way too seriously. Alright, I'll give an example. My 6th grade math teacher, and if you disrupted the class in any single way, and I mean in any single way, if you dropped a pencil, made someone laugh, if you even took in a breath, she would either A, take you outside to the hallway and yell at you, or 2, give you lunch detention. Alright, I'll give you guys another example. I remember this one time in English in 8th grade, I looked at the clock right, and then the teacher said this: "The clock doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you." Damn, I was just looking at the clock to see what time it was, alright? Calm down. Alright, and I hate it when teachers do this all the time in class. You'll be in class taking notes, and then when you look down your paper for just one brief second, and then when you look up at the board again, guess what? The teacher has some complex stuff on the board, and you're just like, oh my god, I have to write this down real fast. And by the time you're already copying half of it, out of nowhere, she just erases the entire thing. What? But anyway, let's move on to the next point. Some of the material they teach you in school is just pointless and just useless most of the time. And if you're in high school, you obviously know of a guy named Shakespeare because you have to read his works in school. And yeah, sure, some of his works are okay and good for the most part, but most of the time when I do read them, I'm just sitting there being like, why do I have to read this? And I can't even read the damn thing, because look at it, it's in old English. And plus, why am I reading about this dude's writings? I should be reading about current events or something else different, why am I reading about this stuff in old English? It's all about the new stuff, fam. Okay, I take that back. That's not a real cringy, but you get my point. We should be learning about the current stuff and the future, and not really, I guess, focus too much on the past. And let's talk about math. Some of the stuff they be teaching you in high school about math is just ridiculous. Why are there X's in my math and these Y's? Why are there letters in my math? Shouldn't it just be numbers and that's it? That's how math should be, right? It's just numbers, not letters. And if you look at some of these equations, they're just so complex. If you took algebra or algebra 2, you obviously know what I'm talking about here. They'll be having some question like x squared plus 2 plus x equals y plus 5. And you'll just be sitting there what is this? Shouldn't we be learning about more important stuff like how to get a mortgage, how to start a business, and how to do your taxes? Doesn't that sound more important than learning to do all this stuff that they actually are teaching us in school? Anyway, those are some of the reasons on why I think school is dumb, stupid, and why it sucks.